Marco Rubio's speech at Munich. He got a standing ovation. And I'm not going to lie, it definitely lifted me. It definitely was something that I felt authentic and connected, reflected. And I think that was overall the feeling and the impression for most of those of us that are into the political realm of the world and that are, concerned about how things go and emotionally tied to the roots. The roots are European roots. Perhaps some people see them as more, some people interpret roots in a more ethnic sense. In this particular instance, I think that what Rubio was doing was bringing it in a more, connecting us into what a civilization is. Let me rephrase all of this. What I'm trying to say here is that his speech was moving. It made waves all around the world. And the reason that I personally believe that happened is because through his narrative and the story arc of his speech, he basically walked us, all of us, into contemplating what is the Western civilization, what it means to be Western. And definitely to be Western is related with Europeans on one side, through ancestry, but it also implies morality, certain type of morality. And even though he didn't mention that directly, I think it was implied by all of the numerous anecdotes and experiences about how these two continents, the old world and the new world, collaborated together to get through the difficult times. Always from this framework or from this foundation of morality and freedom. So, in other words, his speech lifted everyone's spirit, and in a way it gave us permission to be unapologetic about those roots, the Western roots, the European roots. And it's funny because as an Argentine myself, that pride is something that I grew up with. I mean, anyone, if you go online and just do a little, research about Argentina and the South Cone in general, but especially Argentina, you'll get the worst of the worst when it comes to naming names, right? Like we're racist, we're this, we're that. The reality is that Argentina is very Eurocentrist, and I know that is kind of like a bad word in the intellectual circles. But to me, when I get outside of that intellectual circle, what it means is that is unapologetically proud of its ancestry and its heritage. And in a way, what Rubio was doing was giving us that permission too. to really embrace where are we coming from and which are the frameworks that we inherited, and to remember that thanks to this we were able to reach the stars, really, among a lot of other things. So the future, it's gloomy for me, especially when it comes to Europe. Unfortunately, I don't know how things are going to get over this birth rate, very low birth rate. They are being, the other cultures are currently co-living in the same spaces than Europeans, have a much double, triple birth rate than the natives. So they're going to get outpaced very quick. So the future, in my opinion, for Europe is gloomy. However, is bright on the other side of the ocean, and is even brighter in the southern cone. Southern cone. Let me repeat that because I think too fast and I can't say it right. Southern cone. That is specifically Argentina, Chile, the south of Brazil, and then obviously Paraguay, Uruguay are tiny, well, compared to the rest of the countries, are tiny nations that are in between Argentina and Brazil. So I think especially in that area is going to be brighter because of these unapologetic pride that they carry on their heritage and their ancestry. So hopefully things can amend between the US and Europe, and they can come off to have a nice friendship like they had before. But for those people that get trapped in the middle of these politics and these negotiations and then these chess games, I would say consider moving out. Consider the Southern Cone as a place to establish yourself and, continue your lineage, because you will be welcome over there for sure. And I personally have a very a big place in my heart for these countries, especially the United States, because it has been a dream to be here. I really have no bad things to say. I was always very well treated, and it gave me a lot of opportunities. And I would love for anyone in here that is not feeling that this country is giving them those opportunities to go down and explore other places, because I'm sure they are going to be welcome and received with open arms. So anyways, thank you so much. My name is Magdalene. I do these videos because I want to learn how to articulate my ideas in a way that makes sense. If you want to check the article about this particular topic, please go to my Substack. The link is in the description down below, and you'll be able to have a more developed essay about this. Thank you. Bye. Au revoir.